It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for Art. I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun and simple art projects. Hello, everyone. What is new? We're doing that guy right there, Vintage Santa. It's going to look a little different, of course, because, I'm not a machine. I can't paint the same thing the same exact way twice, right? All right. So I have a liner brush, I have a little flat, and a larger flat. I'm going to get a bigger flat. I have my plate, and we are going to get started. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around. I have out some blue, some deep red, and in this case, it's tomato red. I also have a Tuscan red. You can use a bright red. You can whatever you want. I like to use a red that has a little bit of a deep brown to it. So let me turn you guys around, and we will get started. So here we are. So I have my canvas out. I have my well-worn, very well-worn piece of graphite paper. Okay. I am going to eyeball up my Santa. I'm going to put him to the bottom. No, I think I'll put him to the side. So this is a 9x12 canvas, and I am just using the regular 8.5 by 11 printout. Okay? I already have an 11 by 14 of him. 9x12 canvas. I'm using the regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper printout, and I'm just eyeballing it up and taping it on with some tape that I've used 100 times, and hopefully it'll stay for what I need it for. Let me get my time lapse going. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take my graphite paper and slide it up underneath. If you already traced, that's fine. If you haven't traced, that's better. You don't need to trace all these lines. All these little dashed lines on the hat, around the hat, in the beard, we don't need those. We just need the main elements, like the outline of the hat, the outline of his beard and mustache, and his face. I'm moving my graphite paper a little bit because it was not on the canvas, and I'm going to come up here, I'm going to go off the paper and onto the canvas. Doing my star. And even when I do this hat or other elements like this, even when I did this, the Santa behind me, you can't see it right now, I don't trace this exactly. So you only have to do the main elements. So I'm doing his mustache, and then the big curls on his beard. There's a big swoop on his beard, of course. There's another little curl down here. This other curl. And then I like to do this one here because it kind of separates his hair from his face. Oh, that's another thing. I need a little bit of a color for his face. I have a beige. You can do your face whatever color you want. I have this warm beige. I'll probably add some white to it, maybe a little bit of brown. We'll see. So there's another color. It's another thing I like about this project because it only has a few colors. Now I'm going to keep my hand here. And, oh, I forgot his eye. So there we go. That's okay. All right, got some blue. This is a true blue. You can use whatever blue you have. Okay, I'm going to get my larger of my brushes, and I'm going to start with my background. I want to put some pressure on my brush. This does two things. It fixes my brush, so now the hairs on my brush are not all like this. They're nice. They come together. Once you wet your brush or you put paint in your brush and it still looks like this, it's good for base coating or the trash. It won't come together and you won't be able to get it like this, then it's not really a good brush and you won't be happy with the results. So I like to put a little pressure on my brush. Two things again. A, it loads paint up into the bristles, so we have a nice amount of paint in our brush and we're not just putting brush here on the tip and getting upset when we can't do brush strokes because we keep running out of paint. And the second thing is, like I said, it fixes your bed head and makes your brush nice. So I'm going to get some of that off and I'm going to come over and I'm just going to outline my star here. I'm just using my brush on the flat. I'm coming next to my star and I'm just pulling out in this section first so I can do my background. Now our background in this case is not a lot. It is only one color. We can mix it with a little white if we wanted to. We're going to add some stars later. But, oh, yucky. But even though it's only the blue, I'm still going to do my brush strokes a little haphazard as opposed to all horizontal or all vertical. It just gives a little bit of texture. It just gives a little bit of texture anyway to your background, even though it's the one color, and we're going to add some stars to it, little snowdrops. It's a little bit better to not put all your brush strokes in even Steven. And I'm just going to then wash my brush. I've started using 2 cups now, you guys. I feel like it keeps my water cleaner. So I use this one. It's got a little scrubby on the bottom. This is called a paint puck. So it has these nodules on the bottom to clean my brush. So, and I put a little drop of dish soap in here. Oh. And then I use this second cup that if I forget to put water in, I will share my drinking water with, because it's just plain drinking water. Now you know there's nothing else in this cup besides water. And then I will take my brush and give it a rinse. And I don't know, it's my new system. I feel like it's working better. And then, you know, I like to give it a dry over there. Whether you're painting with me or you're going to paint it on your own, one very, very important note is that when you're working with pink and white, and this probably, I only probably say this about other colors, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. When you're working, when you're working with pink and white, you want both of those colors to be completely dry. If you're going to add white next to your red, I mean, not pink. If you're working with red and white, you want both of those colors to be completely dry. If you're going to put red next to white or white next to red, they have to be dry or you will end up with pink. Any other colors out there, you start matching white with it, you'll get a little bit of shade, you'll get a little bit of highlight, you can fix it. But if your red and white are wet, when you marry them or you touch them or you use them next to each other, you're going to get pink, and then it's very hard to get rid of pink. Yes, you can wait for it to dry and go back over it, but you're better off just waiting for it to dry to begin with before you add one color or the other next to it. So I'm going to use my same brush, and I'm going to go into my white. And I'm just going to start painting in his beard. And you can paint in the beard wherever you want. I'm just going to say, though, that even though the beard is all white, we want to paint it in sections. So this flippity part of his beard that he has here, I'm painting that in one section. This flippity part beard he has down here, I'm painting that in by itself as well. Okay. This part here, that's a curl. I'm painting that up and around as well. I could be crazy. I probably am crazy. But I like to be able to, I'm going to go to a smaller brush now, tell the difference. And I feel like brush strokes help our eyes determine what is what. Now you could base coat all of this part down here with the white. That is going to be like this part where his hair and his beard. And then go back over these sections. I might end up tweaking that a little bit too, just so your brush strokes follow the curve of his like big curls in his beard, and that's fine too. I'm just letting you know that I think it's important to have our brush strokes follow whatever it is we're painting. It might seem silly to you that I'm trying not to get white on where I'm going to have white, but that's just why I do it. I don't know if you can see. Let me hold you guys up. It's a little bit different. So I have painted in this swoop of his beard, and then all these three big curls here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, as I get water everywhere. So now I'm just going to go back to my white, and I'm going to do his hat first. This way, this part can start drying when I come back with the red. And this is just the furry band on his hat. So that I was saying before, I love this painting. Black, white, blue, red, gold, and a little bit of flesh tone color. And really, if you wanted to even, I'm going to paint this whole thing white. If you even wanted to avoid getting that flesh tone color, you can just mix a very, very, very pale pink with your red and white, and there you just reduced a color. Then you're down to red, white, black, blue, and even the gold is not necessary. I mean, it's fun to have the stars in gold, and that's what gives it a little bit of vintage touch. But if you want to just do this, I guess then it would be really patriotic though, because you could easily do this painting in red, white, blue, and black. Okay, so now I'm going in and I'm just painting in beard around where I painted the rest of his beard and his mustache and his big curlies. This way too, we're going to come back in and outline this way too, that I've sectioned off the big curls. It'll be a lot easier to see when we have to go back in and do our line work. And I'm going to do, it's hard to see white on white. It's probably really hard to see. Okay. So I don't know, can you guys? I guess you can see because it's a little bit shiny. Okay, I got my curls. And I'm going to wash my brush. Okay. So I'm going to put out a little bit. I have this is called warm beige. It's still even a little, I don't know. I guess it's skin tony, but I'm going to get back my smaller brush that I was using. And I'm still going to put a little white in it. It's still a little too, I don't know what. Let me get my fawn. Do I have fawn out? Yeah. So Shugs has the fawn. Let me get a different brush. I'm going to get some white. Let's get a little bit more white for our fawn. Yeah, that'll work too. They're totally different colors. I don't know if you guys can see. Here's the warm beige. Here's this is the warm beige I'm using. It's got a little peach undertone. And then here is the fawn with more white. I like that too. Skin tone, you guys, are hard. If you see me do people mostly, let me get a little bit of red, just a little bit. If you see me do people, yeah, all right. I just put like the head of a pin in my fawn with the white. And then they're kind of the same now. Anyway, if you see me do people, I usually do them from the back. Just hair. People are hard. Eyes are hard. Okay. Is this? Oh, that is beard. This is beard too. I forgot that spot. So I'm going into the paint I mixed. I'm going to try and go around the eye, but it's okay if I get some on there. This weird rectangle thing above the eye, in case you didn't know, is the eyebrow. And there's nose. I'm kind of rolling the brush in there for the nose. Okay, and then this part down here, you guys, I know it's hard to see. This part down here is more beard. Like I was thinking it was flesh, but it's not. Okay, So I'm going to wash my brush. Oh, but I didn't start painting until I was in my 40s. I didn't paint. I wasn't creative growing up. I was a bit of a, I don't know. I was outdoorsy. I liked to ride my bike, climb trees, play in the woods. I grew up in a very rural area here on Long Island. I had a dirt bike, and there was no keeping me inside. Okay, this part down here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I wanted to make my beard part a little bit more down there. So I went over my blue a little bit. So now I'm going to come back in here with another coat of white just to fix it. So yeah, I didn't paint until I was in my 40s. I liked to play outside. I liked to be outside. I wasn't crafty. My mom was a very, very talented seamstress. My sister hung out inside and learned to sew. I did not. I do regret that. But yeah, I didn't start painting until I was in my 40s. And I had a little something in there. That's why I say all the time, I'm not a fine artist. I don't claim to be a fine artist. I like my art. It's nice. But it is, not everyone is born with the art gene, if there is such a thing. You can learn to paint, and you can learn to paint well. And more importantly than learning to paint and learn, more important than learning to paint or learning to paint well, is to enjoy the process of creating. And really, that's what it's about. I say it all the time. I'm not looking to make $1 million. I'm not looking to be in a museum so people can look at my artwork in 200 years from now. I am just looking to enjoy myself, pass the time, and bring some joy to you guys who are out there watching me and supporting me. So now we are moving on to the red. We have painted the blue background. I've painted in all the beard, including painting in these curls and the mustache, all separately. I painted in the top of the hat. And now I'm going to get some red, and we're going to paint in our hat. This is a tomato red. You can use whatever red you like. You want to make sure again that your white, I'm starting here with the blue, but you want to make sure that your white is completely dry when you bring in your red paint, or you want to make sure your red paint is completely dry when you bring in your white paint, because you will get pink, and that is no fun. So now I'm just going to fill in the rest of the hat. And I'm kind of making my, I don't know if you can see, but got a little paint snot in there. When I paint in the hat, I'm actually, I don't know if you can see this, I am making the hat strokes curved. Okay, I'm going to come in here next to my white. And this line again does not have to be perfect, because we're going to add a little black outline in there when we're done. But the rest of my hat lines, I am making them curved as if the hat is curved on his head. Of course, I'm going to do the edges, and this part has to curve up. It's like you imagine the entire hat is here, and you'd be painting it rounded. Okay, I'm doing my edges. I think I'm going to do a fun edge tonight too. And then I'm going to come around here and just do the edge where the hat is. Okay, and then we're going to let that dry. Now, I don't have yellow on the supply list, But if you wanted, you could base coat underneath your gold with the yellow. If you don't have gold, you can just do your star in yellow. If you don't have yellow or gold, you can just do your star in white. Right? It's okay. But I do have some gold here, and I'm going to put it out. I'm going to use my liner brush for this so I can get into the corners of the star. When I use my liner brush, I like to twirl my fingers. It brings all the fibers together, and then you can use it like a pencil. And I'm just going to trace in my star first so I can get the shape. Okay, now I could switch brushes, but I'm not. It's not that big of a section that I have to worry about painting it in with this little tiny brush. And again, depending on what paint you use for this, what gold you have, you might want to base coat it with yellow, or you're going to do more than one coat. But it is up to you. And again, this doesn't have to be a star. It could be a pom-pom. Up to you, whatever you want to do it. Okay? And then I'm going to take the back of my brush and I'm going to add some gold, snow, drops, stars. And this is all while I wait for the rest of this to dry. If you splattered your paint and you have something on here that you don't like, make sure you put a dot there to cover it up. Okay, and that is it. I'm going to wash my brush, give it a rinse. And then I want to fill in, I have some white here. I'm going to paint in his eyebrow and I'm going to paint in his eye. The eye is almost like it's a triangle laying down on its side underneath the eyebrow. Okay. I'm going to rinse that. And I'm going to get out some black. Oh, my black is clogged. Do I have a different one? Here we go. It's the same black, but in a little bottle. Back in your gold. Okay, there we go. All right, sticking with my liner brush. Make a nice point on my brush. And the first thing I'm going to come over here, I'm going to outline my hat. If you can't do one straight line, do little tiny strokes. Little tiny. Half inch, whatever. They meet up and they get you to the same place. Okay? Same thing with this hat. Do one, then come in here and do another part, then come in here and do another part, and follow it around. You don't have to have a steady hand, and you don't have to do it all at once. Okay? Do this part. And now we're just basically, if you can see your lines, which I'm pretty sure you can, we're just going in and we want to accent all these fun curls and his mustache. And then we're going to add a little bit more detail. And again, if you can't, little, and they meet up to each other. And that is fine. Maybe my stroke is a ½ an inch, maybe it's an inch, and I just keep coming in here, little by little. And they meet up. If you have a black line that you slipped, your brush got out of your control, you don't like it, wait for it to dry, and then we can fix it with white. I love how now he just all starts to come together. I posted a video the other day on YouTube. It was just a short video, and I called it Building a Painting. And I never thought about it like that before. And I was like, yeah, it's like building. When I paint from the ground up. I paint from the bottom layer to the top layer. And it is sort of like building a painting. The only difference is you have to have a good foundation, but your foundation, when you're building a painting, your foundation doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good. Because in painting, you can come back and fix parts of your foundation if you didn't love them. If you're building a house, that's not a good thing. So now I'm doing one line for his eye, another line for his eye. It's almost like the V. The V is laying down. And then I'm going to grab the back of my brush, and I'm going to put a white dot in there. When you put your white dot in there, I don't know if you guys can see, you want it a little bit back from the white, so my white comes out to like here, and my black is a little bit back further. It's not at the end of his eye. Okay. Then I'm going to take this a little bit, and I'm just going to come down here and then trace in this little line for his nose like that. And then we're going to go in, we're going to add in, now these are the lines here that are on your tracer that you don't necessarily need. And so if you traced your design on first and now you're coming back and painting, these are the little lines that you're going to go over with the black paint. Let me grab my tracer. So maybe for you it's not such a bad thing if you traced it first. All these little lines here, that's what I'm adding in now. Now I'm not adding them in exactly where they were. If you traced yours first, you will be, and that's okay. If you purchased the kit from me, like Sherry did, her little lines are not in there. She'll be putting them in here like I am. And I looked at it just for reference, but that is not it. Okay, so I'm gonna put that down, and we're gonna do the same thing with our blue and gold. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my blue with my liner brush. And almost everywhere that I have black, I'm adding a blue stroke to it. Not the exact same stroke, not the same perfect stroke, just around it and near it. For example, this black one came all the way down here, but I just added that little blue one. This is a little blue one, a little black one. I'll add a bigger blue one. That's it. We just want to add in a little of this fun detail into his beard and the hat. And the hat, we want to give an illusion of being fluffy and round, like puffy. So up there, I do some curved strokes. And then I'm going to wash my brush. And then we're just going to do the same thing with the gold paint. Come over here, I'm going to curl it in. And the gold is like a highlight. Because we wouldn't be putting white on this painting, it's got so much white going on already. The gold is our highlight where we would put white, but we're not. I'm even going to do a little bit of gold around his hat, I think. Maybe a little bit down his nose. I don't know when I didn't outline my my eyebrow, but I will. Now this is the time where I said two things. Let me do his eyebrow. And this is called the Vintage Santa. When you're painting yours, if you don't want so much black, that's fine. If your black is a little thick in places, you can go back with, I'll show you because it's mine and it's fine. You can go back in places like, say, this swoopy part here I think is a little too thick. I'm going to come back in here with some white and I'm going to go over my black with a little bit of white. And that just totally softened that part up. I'll show you guys down here with this one too. So this curly, I have the black outline there. It needs to be 100% dry, but I'm just going to come over here with my liner brush. I'm going to go right over what I painted in the black. Not completely cover it. Right in the middle. And you still have the black. Now you have the white, and it totally softened up that section. Or again, if you don't have, do it in little strips. And in this particular painting, you can do it with the white, or you can do it with the gold, and it'll have the same effect. As long as your black is dry. Let me do it here. It adds a little highlight, but at the same time, it tones down your black a little bit. See that? So that's why when you're first painting, and I can even go back in here and where I did the black. So now I did the black, I did the blue, I did some gold, and now I'm going back over my black swoops with gold. Really, you guys, there's no rules. No art police. Okay? And if you don't like the gold too blingy, you don't have to use it. It's totally fine. Your art, totally up to you. I was going to say something else, but I think I forgot. Oh, I want to highlight my star. When you're painting and you're like, oh, what did I do? Oh. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I would rather you keep going than stop. Like when we painted the hat, when you first filled in the hat, and then you didn't like this corner part or your corner. You know what? Let it rest. If you want to fix your corner, you don't need to fix your corner. Let it rest. Keep going, following the video, my video, anybody's video, whatever it is. And then come back to that. And then see if it's still bothering you as much. And if you need to fix it, then it's easier to fix because it's dry. Or then maybe you're just going to put some of these gold or black highlights in there. And it won't even matter anymore. So we need to like not get so upset or so focused in on one little like area like up here on our painting. Because when you're done and you look at it as a whole, you're like, oh, yes, looks much softer. Yep. So I'm going to grab some white and I'm just going to gently, not overbearing, just swoosh in a little white highlight on my star. And there he is. Oh, you know what I might do? Tiny, tiny, tiny. Oh, I'm going to use the back of the brush into the white paint. And then a little dot in his pupil. There we go. So let me turn you guys around. So there he is. Isn't that cool? He would look really good on a Christmas card, I think. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I hope you liked it. I really like the gold. It pops. You could add some glitter if you want. I'm not a glitter person. I have tons of glitter paint. I have too much paint. Thank you, guys. But yeah, you can do glitter. You can put glitter on the hat. You can paint the star white and then just put glitter on it. And then it'll just be like silvery glitter. There you go. So thank you, everyone.